Recording in progress.
Welcome to the Bravo Rundown, where we discuss everything that is happening in the Bravoverse. I am Genevieve Melzer, Real Melz of Bravo. This is my fabulous co-host, Sonia Weber, Bravo, Bravo, Books and Bravo, and Just Booking Around. So we got to get into this. We start every podcast with our hot takes of the week. So Sonia, what's your hot take of the week?
My hot take is the news from last week that has died down with West and Jen Fessler. Here is my take. I don't think anything physical happened, but this is what I think.
Okay.
I think that West is a pathological liar, a liar like Jax. In the sneak peek from the NBC upfronts this week, we saw a clip of the reunion, and in it, Kyle shares how it is common for West to lie, like his stories aren't adding up. And then you've got West over here, who is a pathological liar, tells story tales. Then you've got Jen. Jen's got a kind of humor that most people don't really quite understand, or her humor is only kind of heard, like I've heard it on Jeff Lewis, I've heard it on podcasts. So you add in the fact that a case is starting to be built that West is a big storyteller. Mm-hmm. You add in the fact that Jen's humor goes way over people's head, and that's how the rumor started. But I don't think anything happened, and now Jen's stuck in this place where she doesn't want to be, but no one's talking about it anymore, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, it really died down quickly, didn't it? And
it sure did.
I, on the other hand, but what you say, that is all very valid, and I agree with you basically, but I do think that something happened, because when I saw that video of her and him eating the pizza, and she was so wasted, and I know she did say that her husband filmed that video, but she was messy, and I could just tell that she thought he was so cute, or the way she talked to him. I felt like if something happened, it was probably that night, or I could see her being messy and doing something like that. Also, it's weird that she said on Jeff Lewis that she doesn't do those jobs.
She did say that.
She said, I never do that. She's a dirty girl. Like, she shares sexual stories.
She does.
I think she's lying about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she brought herself, she started it by defending West hard in that interview last week. You kind of brought it on yourself.
Exactly. Just zip it, Jen.
Yeah.
Zip it. She is very thirsty, I will say that. So if anything, at the end of the day, she's thirsty. And Jeff said, oh, now you can be on Traitors, you can be on House of Villains. No, she can't, Jeff. No. Sorry.
Because we're going to forget about it. When casting starts for Traitors, the people don't really care.
Exactly. We've already forgotten. Can I share my hot take with you?
Yes.
Okay, so it is about the Carl-Kyle fight. And I guess my hot take is I think it needed to happen, because it was something that was brewing. Well, Kyle, I think, needed some sort of release, and he was just sweeping things under the rug over and over. And we do see him blow up occasionally, but I liked that him and Carl went at it, because Carl all season has been saying he can't tell Kyle how he really feels. So in that moment, Carl was like, I can tell him, you effing loser, right? And I just feel like they needed to get that out. Kyle needed to say, you're acting like Vagisil. And Carl needed to say, you're a loser. And then, like men do, and then it was okay.
Okay,
then.
Genevieve just put her hands up if you're not watching.
Oh, yeah.
This, she's trying to duke it out with her hands.
Guys they're just duking out, say a bunch of stuff, and then we can be brothers again. Where women, it's very different. I'm going to hold that. You called me a loser. You called me Vagisil. You just wait till next season, But
I feel like we've seen a lot of fights. We've watched Jersey Shore. that was kind of a sad fight. I want to say
yeah.
the equivalent of that fight, it doesn't even reach season 1 of Vanderpump Rules when Jax takes off his chunky sweater. You want to go? I mean, it wasn't even that level. It was the level of season 1 Valley of Jax pantsing Danny. That's about the level of the fight we saw. That's
hold
about
me
it.
back, Carl. Hold me back.
There's no need to hold. Nothing's happening. And then all the girls, Carl. Like, oh, that's going to help calm the situation, diffuse it. Hands around the neck. Amanda had her hands around Kyle's neck. That's a great way to diffuse. I'm going to punch you in the face, Kyle. Oh, let's move the fight over to Amanda. What was that?
Exactly. Amanda putting her hands on Kyle's neck, then Wes coming up, putting his hand on Amanda's back, whispering something in her ear.
I did wonder in that scene because Kyle did Carl's intervention, right? He has seen a lot, has admitted to him coming in. I wonder if it was something in that world that Amanda was scared Kyle was about to expose. Because the way she was putting her hand on his mouth, I really thought that he was about to say something, or she feared he was going to say something that was going to get out on national television that could never come back from.
Yeah, she was...
she was panicked.
Exactly. She was, don't say it. You know that, like, you'll regret it.
Yeah. You wonder if he really regretted, was it last 2 seasons ago when he said how Carl came into work fully high or whatever one time?
Yeah.
You wonder if he really regrets that, and maybe she was trying to protect him in that situation.
I do think he regretted that because it wasn't his story to share. I think he did feel bad for putting that out there on national TV. I also sent you a little something before this that showed Amanda during that fight texting, then West texting, quickly puts his phone down when Sierra comes up. Then they, this is before that like weird embrace, hugging between West and Amanda. Were they texting each other?
It looked like it.
It did.
I mean, you could always edit that, but the way clearly it was a woman that he was texting, because the way he clicked that side of his phone so that it locked and you couldn't see what he was texting, because otherwise you would just kind of put it down, but he locked that very quickly, that phone. So it was a woman for sure that he didn't want Sierra to see who he was texting.
That is so true, because when somebody is trying to be really like, when somebody's trying to hide something from you on their phone, and it felt like that. Also, I clocked he touched his nose. He wiped his nose, which is very telltale sign of the showering, which we've talked about before, which is the Coca-Cola use. But that kind of thing was very, West, I think he could be a pathological liar. I've been thinking about it more and more. And he also doesn't think about him at the reunions. I was thinking about this. He can't stand up for himself. He doesn't know what to say. Then in a fight, where was he? Nowhere to be found. MIA in the it's not called the lobby of the hotel. The foyer of the house. Yeah. He was just standing there. He said, let them deal with it. He's not going to protect you in a fight, Amanda. If something goes down and you need to be protected by your man, like Kyle would protect you.
100%.
West, he can't even say anything. He doesn't have a quick... I was thinking about this because think of all of the people on Bravo. So many shade assassins, people that will just with their mouths, boom, boom, boom. If not... people who can really, Jax is wily or, these guys, I feel like, got something. West, he's just charming.
But is some of that is what he's using, that he doesn't have it in him to quickly, is he mellowed out? Is he, although Jax was also eating pasta too, and he was always angry and raging. Yeah. Southern Charm. Craig, known for his use too, he gets volatile and explodes and says whatever. But interestingly enough, you were absolutely right that West just kind of like a turtle in a shell.
I almost feel if you if you're with a group of guys and you feel like you're not that we need protection, but if anything goes down, I feel Austin would protect me more than West could. West is the guy who would hide almost, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't care about you. He would just make sure he was okay and probably hide. I'm wondering what his redeeming qualities are. I think he is charming. I think he is funny, but that's all.
No, that's it. I don't know that we know him well enough, or maybe
don't.
I'm not remembering because last season he was, what's the term, a wet blanket? Like he was pouting because Sierra didn't like him, and so he had a bad edit from the season before, so it was not much personality. The first season he was charming.
Yes.
For sure. He loved the attention. Like when he said, Paige, are you going to wash the dishes now? Like the cutesy little things like that. But then this season we're kind of getting, I don't know, but now we're clouded from the scandal.
We are.
I don't know where we would be without the scandal.
I think he was charming again, and now we see him for what he is, so he's not as charming.
Yeah. Very true. But even like going back to the pathological liar, Jesse, and I told you I was listening to that interview on Julia Cunningham, and she asked him about the Watch What Happens Live, where West was sharing the story about being with a woman in the high fives and whatever.
Yeah.
And Jesse said, I don't know about that story, and I don't know if it's true. Why would you say, I don't know if it's true? That he could have said, oh, I'd never heard that story before. He didn't drop it there. He added on, I don't know if it's true. That's why I wonder if the Summer House cast is starting to set the stage for us, and the reunion is really going to like bring out the fact that he makes up stories that are not true. I mean, you kind of have to, because now even Jesse was saying the girlfriend Miha that West had a relationship.
Yes.
Kyle said it in the little clip that was played at NBC upfronts from the reunion that he had we all know how he talks about how he had a year-long relationship. Jesse was asked about it in this interview, and he goes, it was very odd. Like he didn't want to say anything bad, but he also didn't want to support him. So he's like, maybe they had an understanding. Didn't deny that there was a relationship, but said maybe they had an understanding, meaning Weston and the girl.
And maybe also Jesse doesn't want to give away anything from the reunion.
That's true. And hopefully we get into it. But now I'm really starting to wonder, what other stories has he shared with us that we can start questioning? But that goes back to what you said. Do we know him?
I know.
He played football, but what was he a quarterback? I feel like he gives that vibe of like all the attention.
He wants to be the center of attention, which brings us back to the path that he could the journey to he might be a narcissist or have a personality disorder.
Yeah. Just because of it's a lot of Jax we're seeing. But Jax had such an aggressive side where it seems like when West gets mad, he just shrinks into himself and doesn't express the anger. That's the difference with Jax.
Yes, West, I don't think I've seen him get angry. I haven't seen, or he can't speak. He pouts.
No, he
pouts.
So
he's just pouts when he's angry, when he's sad. He wants everyone to like him. These are just not good signs.
And I think that's why, and now you like looking back, I think that's why he liked Amanda, because she was the damsel in distress and he could come in and be the savior and look like the good guy. Well, when she's no longer that damsel and now she's your equal and a partner, do you still like her?
That's a great question. And apparently Dolores said on 2Ts that she saw a girl making out with Wes at that wedding he was at this past weekend. I have not seen this video.
We both heard that podcast. We both shared that story with each other, but we're like, why is this not anywhere else, anywhere on social media? The Amanda supposedly, we don't even know if this was Amanda, in a wig is all over social media today. That poor woman, it may not even be Amanda. And that could be that woman's real hair for all we know. But she is all over social media. So I think if West is making out with someone, that is going to be everywhere, right?
Yes. And this is just goes back to the fact of, will they be together when the reunion is even airing? I think they're trying to make it to reunion date.
Well, I just saw, just before we started, someone did a TikTok about your moms. You've probably seen this. I know you watch. Your moms are watching. Shared how she has 3 DMs from people saying that they are no longer together.
So what was this all for?
It was just a hookup, and Amanda tried to make it more than it actually was.
Yeah.
Because again, it goes, we talked about like the competition of it all.
Yes.
And Amanda is like, you can see it on so many clips that we've seen, right?
Yes.
She's competitive. And so it's like all these girls want him. Well, I got him. No. No. And that's how she got with Kyle. It was the same thing back in the day with Kyle. All the girls wanted to settle down with him. She got him. What'd she get?
I almost think that's true. I almost think it's either a tale of two stories. It's either they had been kind of hooking up secretly since last summer, and she was trying to make it more serious, and he's talking a game. He's telling these girls something else than what is really going on in his brain or what he really wants. I feel, because we see that with Sierra. Yes. He's saying one thing, but then in the confessional, he's saying another, right? And so I'm either thinking they've been doing that since last summer, or this was more recent and she was trying to tie him down, or it got out, if that video got out. So then she was like, we have to pretend like we're together and blow up the whole show.
Yeah. I think it's the latter of what you said. I don't think that was anything necessarily in the summer. And the only reason I say that is because knowing the clips, or in this season, there's one episode where West has his hands on Bailey twice. He's playing with her ponytail, and then he puts his arms to the back of their arms, they're hooked together or something. That to me is just odd, but I've never been a flirty person. And she was single, so it wasn't as big of a deal. But then he does that same touching with Amanda. I don't know that he sees that as meaning anything more than just, I've been drinking, I'm being touchy. That's all it is. And I bet Amanda saw more into it. Yes. And then it just got to be a little bit more, then a little bit more, until then she thinks they're in a relationship. And he clearly doesn't know how to say, no, we're not.
Yes, he doesn't know how to say no. And I do think he's got like little fires burning with multiple women that he's like stoking, right? So it's like the Amanda one, the Sierra one. Well, hey, Bailey, maybe you too.
Yeah.
Or Miha, they've been hanging out since February of 2025.
And weren't there some others with some unique names? I can't remember them.
There was Fibula, but I have never heard it again, so I'm justice for Fibula. Okay?
Fibula.
What did you... Yeah.
No, go.
I was just going to ask you, what did you think of the Lindsay consoling Carl in the fight?
I loved that. And did you see, is it a clip for next week where she says, she's talking to him and saying, you hurt me in ways or something like that? She's talking about how hurt. They need that conversation. Yeah. They do, because at the end of the day, they are, whether he's on In the City or going to be on In the City in previous seasons, they are in the same world, right? Yeah. It's like coworkers. It's someone that you were engaged to, you broke up with, and now you work together. So you've got to figure out how you're going to work together. And Lindsay may have needed that time. She needed a couple of years to just let it settle. I love that she, like, at the end of the day, she still cares about him. And I wondered on the anniversary of his brother's passing if she sent a text.
Yeah, I wonder. I feel like he would have. I think he would have shared that if she did.
But she remembered it, because the year previously in the summer, we were in the house on the anniversary, and she said to someone, "Hey, today's the anniversary." She may have not have said it, but she knows. She wouldn't be so hurt if she didn't still care about him.
Agreed. Yeah, I know. I'm enjoying this rekindling of their friendship.
A friendship.
Yes, only a friendship, which I've seen all over social media now. They're hanging out a lot more, which is really nice, which it looks like maybe... Yeah.
I totally cut you off. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say maybe we'll get him on The City second season.
I'm hoping season 2. So you notice how it's Kyle, Carl, and Lindsay doing all this promotion? Like they were even on Kelly Clarkson's show. Was that supposed to be Amanda who was supposed to be doing all that press?
Probably. I mean, probably yes, because why would Carl be there, Right?
I kind of feel bad for him. It's like, you're not even about to be on this show, but you're doing all this press. So surely they're going to keep him on Bravo somehow, right? That's what that has to mean. We're not getting rid of him. We're keeping him around somehow. Let's put him on. I mean, those are big shows they were on. Lindsay was on Kelly and Mark.
Yes. And then they were on Kelly Clarkson. And I feel like they were on something else too recently.
Decider, but that's not like the network shows are huge.
Yeah,
Summer House
are
has
really
never
big.
been.
And then Carl was just on Watch What Happens Live with Ariana, and that was cool. And I wanted to tell you about Bravo, because I've been keeping tabs. I've been talking about this every week. They've been posting the videos for In the City. And at first, all of the comments were like, we don't want Amanda. Then they started to kind of pivot. So then they posted something of just Lexi and Andrea. And there were more comments of like, oh, we love that he's back. Yay, Andrea. Lexi's cool, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then there was just a few comments and then there was like, no, Amanda. Then there's the latest one is Lindsay as the Statue of Liberty. And she's holding a sandwich and a book that says activated. And all of the comments are like, Queen Lindsay, Mother Hubbard, da-da-da. So they edited Amanda out of at least the ads, and they're getting less of the Amanda hate. So I'm just interested to see what happens when In the City premieres. Because,
what happens to Amanda?
Yeah.
What's the trajectory of her career? Because we talked about Sierra doesn't need to come back. She's doing, Met Gala, press, all sorts of
Love
stuff.
Island. But TMZ reported that she was coming back to Summer House, and Sierra got on Threads this week, and she said, my team would never talk to TMZ like other people's teams, because we know that Wes and Amanda have been talking to TMZ saying they're still together. So does this mean she's not coming back?
I know we talked about this some last week. If she's doing, is it in Fiji, Love Island?
Yeah.
Fiji, that's in the summertime?
Yeah.
Because Summer House is July, August. She's got Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, Love Island is June. It ends mid-July, beginning of July.
What is this after? She's on some after the
Yeah, so
what
it's Saturday. It's the actual Saturday show. So she wouldn't be able to go to the Hamptons. It's the weekend,
it's live? Is it live?
Yeah, it's live.
Oh, she's hosting live.
Well, it's either pre-recorded that day or it's live. So it's like real time. Or they film it on Friday, but it airs on Saturday.
No way.
No
way. And then she has to get into rehearsals because Dancing with the Stars starts in September. There's no way. And I would imagine the deal is better than the Summer House deal.
I think
or am I wrong?
Somebody said they make a lot of money on Love Island. I don't know what it is, but...
Interesting. But but my question was, what do you think will happen to Amanda?
That's what I'm wondering, because
she doesn't have anything.
She's on In the City now.
But is she going to
season one?
I was going to say, like you said, she got all that hate. Would they bring her back, or just if her and Kyle aren't together, just keep Kyle?
Well, that's a really good question, because I thought In the City is about people in their next chapter. But what is Amanda's next chapter? Because what is Amanda doing? She's not doing anything.
I don't want her just to be an influencer on the show.
No. We have a real influencer, Lindsay.
Well, and she's got her child, and we're learning how she's navigating life just from the previews. We're seeing how she's opening up about her childhood and how she can't she keeps getting abandoned. So she has a story to tell. But if Amanda's not going to open up, she's never really opened up about her life and her childhood. And I guess Summer House is not really the place for that as much necessarily. But I don't see her on Summer House because really, and I don't know if it's the scandal.
Yeah.
She's not friends with anyone. She's not friends with, I don't see that. I understand why she believes she did nothing wrong, because what I'm watching, she doesn't look like her and Sierra are really good friends. I think Sierra is a kind heart. And so when she sees somebody that is suffering, she is going to nurture them and take care of them. On Amanda's side, I don't see it.
Amanda is saying things. It's like she asked ChatGPT, what would a real friend say right now? Okay,
that's exactly.
That. Or she asked her producer, what do you think I should say here? And they're like, well, you should defend Sierra. That's your friend. Da, da, da. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's exactly how it looks.
It does.
Exactly. And I think she just followed behind Paige. She was a follower. And whatever Paige would do, she'd jump on that. And she's trying to be Paige. And it's just not working. So I see how, like, from what little clips we saw, and we saw the little clip from the audio leak of her saying how someone asked her if Katie, would you do this to Katie? Katie's the girl in the city. That's her best friend. Well, Katie's been my friend since 3rd grade. I'm like, all right, there you go. You don't see Sierra as your good friend. And in the last week's episode, when they're in the bed and she's saying, if that were my friend that was going through that, I'd fight with the husband. Not that you guys need to do more. She doesn't see them as friends, Sierra and Mia.
And listen, Sierra has been putting up with Kyle yelling at you for many years. And I think she's over it at this point. I would be like, oh, these two are fighting again. Yeah, and I'm not gonna be the one. I already just went to your dumb husband and said you guys should separate because you are too
chicken.
Yes, chicken. I was like, what is the word? Yeah, you can't do it. You know that she told her to say something, or it was a production kind of thing, right? But Amanda wants that because she's not going to let that. And then she even says, Sierra can say the things that I'm thinking and can't say.
Like that is, see, I'm kind of a tough love geriatric millennial over here. Grow up.
Yeah.
You are married. You have responsibilities. You need to figure it out. No, my friend is going to come speak up for me to my husband. No. You need to take responsibility. Second, you've been in this marriage for 10 years. Stop bringing up all your arguments to ruin a fun weekend for everyone else. You're selfish for doing that.
Wait, they were married in 2021. So they haven't been married for 10, but they've been together.
Okay. They've been together. But nothing, like the theme of their marriage is cheating and arguments.
Gosh. And I just made a video because somebody did a timeline saying they got married. This is why I know this. They got married in 2021. They got married because basically they got engaged because Kyle had cheated on Amanda. And so then he made that gesture. She said yes.
Yeah.
So it tracks if they hadn't had sex since he cheated on her, since that engagement, and still haven't had sex, it has been 7 years.
Wow.
So.
But I remember even when they were planning their wedding, it was so sad. It was, this place fell through. That place fell through. Oh, we were going to do it this day. These are signs. The universe is telling you should not be together. Don't do it.
That wedding season it felt like they might not make it to the altar, and that would be okay. Yeah.
It was kind of, I remember Luann and Tom, and how there was that hot mic moment where someone said, I think it was what Barbara said.
It was.
I think at this point she just feels like, well, let's get married and we'll get a divorce if we have to. And I wonder if that's how they went into it. Like, we're on national television. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Yikes. And they didn't get a wedding special. It was the season finale episode. So it's not, I mean, did you get paid more? I mean, if you're going to get paid more.
Do the stupid wedding special.
Just don't sign the marriage certificate, but do the wedding special and get the money. But I don't know that we ever saw good times with them.
We haven't. We haven't.
It was like the therapist asked what was their love story, and she's like, yeah, we didn't have one. We saw the lack of love story in season 1.
As she saw, he's been yelling at her this whole time, and I was always on her side. But she saw, this is a way, somebody said this, and I was like, oh, that is really good. This is a way that she was taken care of where she didn't have to work. Now she's on a TV show, fame and money at her disposal, and she just has to put up with this guy. But
and he says that, Kyle says that into the camera after the fight. At this point, she doesn't even like me, doesn't want to be with me, but I think she's just scared to be on her own.
Yeah.
Because why are you living in misery for so long?
That's the part that I don't understand.
It's not like there's a fight over finances. It's not like it's a custody issue, a custody battle. Like,
you said something really good. I think it was you. That, I don't know who else it would be. What if she was waiting for that lover boy payout?
Oh, no, that wasn't me. But but
maybe that was a podcast then?
She's going to be waiting a long, and maybe that's why last year she was so upset.
Because Kyle said in his thing, in the podcast he was on, that Loverboy was like, it was like going up and up, like 2022, I think he said, was like their best year or something like that. Or was it before?
Around COVID,
right, sure. Around COVID, right? It was 2021, 2022, or something like that. well, that's when they got married, 2021. I'm wondering if she was like, let's just wait till this sells, then I'll leave him. I get half of that money.
Yeah. It's possible. I listened to that Jason Tartick interview. He does all finance stuff. And the way Kyle was describing selling alcohol, it's so similar to Bethany's struggles with her brand, her Skinny Girl.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different rules when selling alcohol. Like you can't sell vodka off the internet. Like you have to sell it as a wine. So everything is kind of like a wine. Just everything he described kind of it sets it up that Bethany sold at the perfect time, because getting distributors, getting it on the shelves, it is such a complicated process. It's not just slapping it up on the internet and selling. So
yes. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was listening to that too. And I think a lot of people are like, why didn't you sell? What's wrong with you? And what happened, what I felt the big takeaway that he shared was that something changed with distribution from what it was before and they were doing really well to something where the distributors were like, oh, we don't do that anymore. So they weren't promoting or pushing the brand or anything anymore. And that was something Kyle and his team would have to then do. And that was like a big reason why sales started plummeting and it kind of all went in the tank. Did you get that from that
I
too?
didn't finish it all the way through, so I didn't get to that part.
I did.
Like after 3/4, I'm like, I am not in business school. I don't have an
I was
MBA.
like, oh, let me hear this. And then I was like, okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. And he was saying, I'm not going to blame them entirely, but I think something really changed in that industry. And so he was kind of left. They had to hire like a sales team then, and that, I don't know.
Now I'm curious, because you wonder, a lot of these companies, the bigger alcohol brand or anything, anytime you have big business, they kind of can dominate the market to make it a little more difficult for the small guy, which I don't know why he didn't not sell out, but sell the brand. I guess he just was always hungry to make more, whereas Bethany did great and she sold very quickly. And then it's not, the Skinny Girl margarita. I don't even know if they're made anymore.
I know. Maybe he never got a good offer that could take care of
good
everything.
enough that he thought. Enough. I mean, his loans are crazy.
I know. He has to pay $100,000 a month to pay off his loan.
I don't see how he gets out of this. I don't see how he gets out of this.
Me neither.
Because
he said he has a team of 3 right now. That's it.
He had 30. He was
had 30, yes. And now they're a team of 3.
And it's probably young social media kids. Didn't we see them in one of the Instagram reels? 3 young girls. Yeah. So they're probably paid nothing. I don't see how, at this point, it seemed like his only option was filing for bankruptcy, right?
Yeah.
It didn't seem, I don't know how you're going to break even.
It is crazy. I maybe want to buy a t-shirt.
I don't think your one t-shirt's going to help his brand, but if you want to wear one.
But okay, the reason I haven't bought one, I do have one that I got at BravoCon that says Vegas should be fun. The reason I haven't is because the t-shirt is like $34 with shipping and tax to California. It's like $45.
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
I'm almost at $50 and I would just
There's cuter stuff out there.
Yeah, I would rather just buy something from the Daphne line.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I love that stuff. Should we talk about Atlanta?
Yeah, let's get into Atlanta.
Okay, because it was so
good.
This week, it was so funny. Both of us said that we were laughing. And there was a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about with Atlanta. First of all, I did a couple of newbie polls between Pinky and K. Michelle. And K. Michelle won with a landslide.
Really?
Yes. What do you think of
I like
that?
Pinky. Are you surprised? I love an underdog. I love the person that everyone is disliking, as long as they are not an insufferable person who can't take accountability for things. If they're like a Dorit or someone who doesn't admit to wrong, I can't like them. But if they are someone that can apologize and admit to wrongdoing, and they are being kind of ganged up on, but it's just them by themselves, I will side with them.
I really like K. Michelle because I just like how she kind of decides when she wants to get involved with these ladies. And I almost feel like she's a real celebrity because she's an actual like performer. And so I kind of think she's like, okay, you guys, like, I want her more in the mix, but I like how she like keeps them at a arm's distance.
She was like, what is this Dallas dinner with Seabass here? And my glam team didn't come. I'm not joining dinner.
Exactly.
Get the charcuterie tray by the pool. I'm going over there.
Do you think that Pinky is coming too hard for her first season?
That's what, Cynthia said it, right? Cynthia told her at the lunch that she is. I haven't watched in a while, so I'm just coming back in it. I feel like, but she's bringing it.
She is.
Nobody else is. Like, she's kind of already bringing up conversation, starting it, putting it out there. I feel like I'm actually getting to know her. Whereas Phaedra, I mean, I know Phaedra from old seasons, but she barely shares. She doesn't really talk too much or get into the mix that much. Yeah. I feel like we're getting enough K. Michelle because they show her confessionals. They show them quite a bit and her talking, right? So she is coming on strong, but I'm not bothered by it. I like that she is because it's starting stuff. You know, she got Angela all brought her up. I know.
Yeah, you're right. She is creating a lot of stuff happening. She's aligning herself with Kelly and Shamia, which might not be great because the audience, they don't really like Kelly and Shamia.
But do you think it's by default? She's kind of with them, grouped with them?
Maybe. She said that, I think it was last episode that she just said that she like got along with them right away or something.
Well, Phaedra's going around calling her a meat eater.
But Kelly was really the one that said that. Remember?
But I thought Phaedra started it about her Jamaican restaurant. And then Shamia's like, if I have to apologize, I will.
No, because they played that scene back and it was, Phaedra said, oh, she used to own a Jamaican restaurant, right? But then they played another scene back and Kelly was like, I've seen her eat steak.
Oh, that's right.
And so then
that's just a goofball.
I know. Like, Kelly is trying to be in the mix, which is totally, as she should. But I just don't know if it's working as well as her and Shamia had hoped. Because they're trying to be like the next frickin' frack. Yeah. But all of the podcasts I listen to, people are like, please stop. Oh, and even when Drew makes fun of Shamia, that was funny.
It was funny. The twerking out everywhere. Yes. But Drew brings up that good point. She says Shamia is a lot, right? A lot of energy. Mm-hmm. What is she hiding behind there? Because, and that is true. People you meet and like people I've met, like when they are so full of energy, a lot of times it's when the doors are closed and they're by themselves. It's not
That is
great.
A good point because she wants to be funny in all her confessionals. She's really trying and she's trying hard and she's trying to be funny, but we just want to see your real raw Shamia. And I feel bad for her husband because he does not want to be on camera at all. And they keep trying to put him on camera and he really doesn't want to. So I just feel like, don't put the poor guy on camera.
But I think they have to. Remember we read in Lisa Rinna's book, she said how she made a deal with Bravo. I'll come on, but Harry doesn't want to be on. I'll give you one scene a season. So and that's Lisa Rinna in Beverly Hills. Like I think she had the clout to say that. I would imagine if you want to be on, and she's probably telling her husband, well, if we want to get paid, you got to be on. So maybe he's like begrudgingly doing it for the paycheck.
When she called him, it was so awkward.
Yeah.
I'm like, just hang up. Being a non-meat eater who lives in Texas, by the way, Pinky was offended that they went to a restaurant that didn't have vegan options. But as a fellow meat eater, I am offended at the fact that you want to announce that you're a vegan and you don't know how to navigate your way through menu because I was vegan for a very long time and I'm not one of those vegans that would tell people I was vegan. Now I eat fish and eggs to be transparent, but I don't need anyone I can figure out what to get. And then I could ask, oh, do you make this with butter? Does this have any dairy in it? Whatever. But she was offended. She wants people to know she's vegan and she could only eat the French fries.
Okay, now can we discuss how those French fries are probably fried in animal byproduct?
Yes, or like I was thinking duck fat. I was like, you better ask about that.
Duck fat. How? I mean, this was like out. This is not in Dallas City.
Sorry,
proper.
I'm thinking of these duck
like,
fat
man,
fries
where
at this
are you
really,
living,
at this
Genevieve?
really
Like,
nice restaurant.
Like, this is not California. Like, this is, I mean, maybe if it was a high-end steak restaurant, I don't know, but it didn't look like too, I mean, it was nice, but this was like outside of Dallas, right? It was outside this,
like in
the
Decatur, somebody had said, Fort Worth, Decatur.
Fort Worth Stockyards or something like that. Like, you're not going to get, I've been to this so many times. You're going to ask for a salad with no dressing.
Yes.
Because the dressing is going to have blue cheese, whatever, something like that. You're just going to, and then you're going to, if there's bread, if you're a picky vegan, I mean, she's clearly not a picky vegan if she asked for, because she should have said a baked potato. You look at the sides, you kind of whisper to the waiter, like even high-end steak restaurants I've been to, they'll make you something. Like, and I've never done fully vegan. I'm always vegetarian, but I stay away from cheese. So I'm like, can you make a pasta? Usually it'll always be they can make a pasta with vegetables. And if it's like, I don't know, they've got like something in there that I'm not going to taste, I'm not going to make a big deal of it. But you're absolutely right. I'm not going to make a big deal. I don't want the attention. I don't want anyone to talk about it. My friends who know that I'm vegetarian, like in college and stuff, when we'd go out, like for Christmas time, instead of doing gifts, we would all go to dinner together. And they'd always find a place that had vegetarian options on the menu. But that was Austin. So Austin's a little more like California. You can easily find that stuff. Here, it's just like, you know what? If you're a vegan, you better pack stuff or go to the grocery store on your trip.
Yeah, I know.
You have to.
Exactly. And also, it's like production probably picked that restaurant because they could film there. So you can't be blaming the cast because you can't eat something. I was just like, come on, Pinky. If you're a real vegan, you know how a real vegan does. I used to have this one friend, and every time we would go to a restaurant, which was a lot, she would announce to the waiter, she's vegan. And I would look at her, don't announce
I don't want the attention.
Yeah. And then they're like, you are okay. Well, you can't have this, and this, and this. And I'm like,
because what if you wanted to cheat? What if you wanted to be like Sutton, a bacon-eating vegetarian?
Well,
remember?
I was never that, but I would get a veggie burger. Sometimes they are put together with egg, something like that. So, I had a lot to say about that.
Yeah, I know. When I saw that, I was like, I got to tell Genevieve. See, I like how Cynthia was like, oh, okay. Like, I can't cater to everything. You came to Texas. Don't come on the trip. Again, that geriatric millennial, like, tough love. Like, you're going to figure it out yourself sometimes. Have the limo stop. Like, oh, look, there's a Sprouts. Can we go in that grocery store and I can get a little veggie sandwich or something?
Do you guys have Sprouts there?
We do have Sprouts.
Oh.
We even have one in my suburb. Can you believe that?
Oh, my gosh. That's cool.
But we don't have a lot of Trader Joe's.
That's okay.
I have to go in the city to go to Trader Joe's, but I don't go often. Anyways.
Yeah. What group would you want to join if you were
that
there?
Is easy. You go first, though. I know mine.
The Phaedra, Portia, Angela, and K. Michelle, because they were having 100%. So much fun.
100%. When the horseback rider, she's like, are we getting on? Angela's going out to the clubs in a little bit, so she absolutely cannot get on a horse.
Portia's boobs were just taped in there perfectly.
She was very cowgirlish.
Yes.
But no, it's not how. I just love the trainer or whatever, what was she called? The one that was on the horse. She's like, come on. She had an accent. I don't know what her accent was.
She's like, come on, nobody's going to get on the horse. They're like, mm-mm. And
then I was going to go to the afterwards, the wine tasting
the
in a
fact
stable.
That none of them complained. These are the top tier housewives. These are legendary ladies. Any one of them could have said, I'm not eating in a stable where there's horse poo. But everyone was game. Because they're willing to work. The other group...
That's it.
They're willing to work. The other group, I think, would have complained. I think Shamia, you're right. Kelly, Pinky... I think Drew would have been fine. Cynthia would have been fine. Yeah. But I think those three, especially Kelly and Shamia, would have been like, oh my... Ew.
Well, they complained about the dirty pool house that wasn't dirty. There was like a mark on the sheets or something. You're absolutely right. But they just were... But I also think that they were so confident in it. They was like, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
What's next? Mm-hmm. There was no need to complain because they were not going to belabor the point. They're saying, no, we're done. Conversation's done. Yeah. Shut it down. Move on to the next activity.
Yeah.
Right?
But I love
But
that they were game to go eat in the
I could
stall.
smell the poop through the TV.
I know. I'm like, oh, you're like wine tasting? And it's okay. They had so much fun, though, and they really
did.
bonded. It was really nice to see.
I loved the Italian, he was the sommelier. I'm like, how'd you get to Dallas outside of Dallas proper? What are you thinking of Dallas? Is this like a big culture shock for you from Italy to like small town Texas? And then someone said, "Oh, it smells like." K. Michelle was saying how it smells, and he goes, "Oh, what are you smelling?" Like he didn't get it. He's thinking of like notes of wine, like sandalwood in the wine.
Yeah, you're like notes of manure, sir.
Yes. And then even the comedic bits, like when the horse bucked or something, like they're all calm. Then the horse bucks, they all went back. Was it Portia that trips? It's kind of like a whoosh in the production. She kind of trips backwards and then freezes.
These ladies are another level, and it's all working. It's like they have the right pieces now, and it's all kind of coming together. What did you think about the fight with Kelly and Portia at the end?
Kelly and Portia. Now I've got to go back to remember
at the very end where you slept with a married man. No.
Oh, I don't know the background of that. It sounds like they both did it. This is just something to argue over to keep them separated. Yeah. I kind of feel like it's a nothingness. Like
I agree. I feel like Kelly's really trying to create something with Portia. Yes. Because, the newbie always comes in trying to take out the OG. So she tried a little last season. When she first came on, her first episode, she talked, I heard Portia likes to sleep with married men because Portia ended up with that guy, Simon, her last husband, who was married to someone who was on the show before. So that's
who was on the show? Wait,
I don't remember who it was, but there's clip that they always play of, because I wasn't watching when that happened, of Portia meeting him. Oh. And so that they shake hands. Yeah, so they always play that clip when they talk about that.
And that's his house that she got in the divorce?
Yeah.
Did the ex-wife live there?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like, but I don't know. But I feel like it was a different house.
What I saw, so the argument that I want to ask you with Pinky and Angela. So I wish I could remember the name of a podcast. It was a smaller podcast I saw on TikTok. They were talking about the business argument when Pinky threw the allegation to Angela. Well, you don't know how to keep your finances. Well, you don't know how to keep yours. And they're like, their business worlds are completely separate. Like what they're failing at is whereas the allegation, right? So it's allegation of Angela being bad at business. Okay, well, she did bad investments. It's within her own world, her own finances.
Yeah.
Pinky's a bad boss. Well, you were trickled down of the people that you affect with your failures or your mismanagement. So for Pinky to say she's bad in business, it's not, because aren't there allegations that she's a horrible boss?
Well, and that she owes a lot of people, too.
Yeah.
And Angela has been very upfront. She was immediately last season about these investments that she had, investment properties that didn't work out. But she said that, and she's been open about that this whole time. We just met you, Pinky, and now we're hearing through the grapevine that you owe people money. That, your bankruptcy is going to impact a lot more people. Angela just doesn't have these properties anymore.
Yeah. The person the banks or whatever, it's different than a whole slew of people that work under you. And I said she was a bad boss. I'll take that back. I may have misworded that I heard that somewhere. I don't know. But definitely the financial part. And then what's with the wife in the basement? Yeah. Where did that come from?
She wrote a book called Wife in the Basement.
She says I didn't know that.
She says, I wrote a book called Wife in the Basement, but then
why is she so confused?
Angela was saying, I think I was listening to Rachel Lindsay, and they said that she wrote a book, or maybe she said that, I don't know. But no, Angela is saying, no, there's something more to that.
Oh.
Because she says it again in this, she kind of doubled down on it when she was like, we want to know more about the wife in the basement or something like that. So I feel like we're going to hear more about that. I don't know if there's any validity, but she wrote a book called that. So,
well, that would have been the perfect comeback. Read my book and you'll find out.
Yeah.
Just own it. If that's the name of your book, that's odd. And I still don't know how that fight got started or what. But what my favorite part of the episode was Cynthia coming in irritated, the Texas heat. These girls don't like their. She just came in like, we're done. Like, this conversation is over. They cleaned it. They didn't clean it. Figure it out. We're going home or leave right now. Like, I loved that. Like, basically, like putting a stop to it. Like, I'm done.
And I'm an OG. How dare you come at me? I love that. Yes, she just squashed that, right?
Cynthia is one of my favorite. So, like, I listen to different podcasts and, you know, with actual Bravo, like Tamara's and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I gotta say, Cynthia is one of my favorite housewives who I have loved out of Housewives. Because, like I said, I stopped watching Atlanta a while ago, but I loved Cynthia then. Then I got to know her listening on Jeff Lewis. Then I got to know her on her own podcast. Yes. She's just amazing. Like, she knows every housewife in every city. Like, she was at the Salt Lake Mary Cosby's son's funeral. Oh. She's friends with Sutton. Like, she just has such a kind heart, but she'll tell it like it is. But she's also so loving and nurturing.
I agree, and I feel like the longer I've known her on TV, the more I like her, and listening to her podcast, I really enjoy it too. And she just does seem like somebody who's like, she's a good housewife, she's a good friend, because she can kind of ask the right questions and then put a stop to some stuff.
Yes. Right? I don't think I can't think of any other housewives that I would say that I really like them as a person. It's like, I like you for who you are. Like, even like I loved Kyle forever. Kyle has gotten way too Hollywood, and she's just not relatable. She doesn't have the mama figure that Cynthia has. Like, I can't think of another housewife that I feel the same for. Maybe Dorinda.
Maybe Candy.
I don't know Candy as well outside. Candy is like a A-lister, right?
Yeah,
I mean, Broadway. Like, I used to listen to Escape back in the day when I was in middle school, right? Like, I don't see her so much as a housewife, though. Like, she is.
I saw her accept the, like, Lifetime Achievement Award at BravoCon. And her speech was incredible. And I almost, like, started, like, tearing up because I was just remembering, like, you know, watching Atlanta, and it just kind of, you're like, oh my gosh, this has been such a part of my life, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so
she's just such a dynamic person.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, again, like the creativity out of her, we've not seen on any other housewife, right?
Yeah.
From any other city. I mean, the amount that she has done professionally, just in the entertainment field.
I'm gonna switch gears now. And can we talk about Rhode Island?
Yes. Instead of going on tangents.
We have a lot to talk about with Rhode Island. And first I want to talk about a clip that I saw, because now I've seen two clips. One, my friend sent me about Rosie, saying Rosie is the one that lives in the not 8,000 square foot home, okay? She and Kelsey are not getting along very well. Rosie says, well, I heard that Kelsey didn't live in that house and that her boyfriend had already broken up with her 2 years ago. And I know people that live on that street, and they said they haven't seen her there.
Which makes sense, because we have been talking about the last couple of the podcast, saying how that house doesn't look to lived in. And it looks like a bachelor house. I mean, you'd see on The Bachelor, it doesn't look like she's actually living in that house. So that makes perfect sense.
And even she said that she was living with Billy, the guy that we talked about, who we called Barney Stinson. She says, I heard that she's been living with Bill this whole time, or for 2 years. So then that made sense of why he was okay with being on the show.
Yeah,
right?
Because he knew the truth.
Yeah.
You wonder if when they started when they started looking for casting for Rhode Island, if she was in the relationship then, and maybe that's kind of why they brought her on, and she was too scared to say we broke up and risk losing her spot. Kind of like Ben and Sabrina on Summer House. Too scared to say there's a change of status. I don't want to lose my spot, so let me just fake it.
Because that's what I was wondering about, because Rosie says this in an interview, and if it was a secret on the show that production was like, we're just going to film at your old house and pretend like you live there, I feel like production would be pissed that she was sharing production secrets.
Oh, so maybe.
But
So you're saying you think Kelsey didn't even tell production? She just kind of did this on her own.
well, no, I kind of think that I don't know. It could be either that Kelsey told production, I don't live with him anymore, and they were like, okay, well, let's film you there, and we'll show the breakup.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, I could see that. I could
Right?
see that.
Or
Absolutely.
she didn't tell them, and she said, oh, I'm still living there. And I just feel like she would be like, well, this is yeah, like maybe when they interviewed her originally, she was like, well, I'm, in this relationship, yada, yada. But now she's like, oh, well, we broke up. And then he's like, well, can you use the house for a couple of weeks?
I think you're right, because it's kind of like when someone leaves Housewives, the next season they want to have them come at the beginning of the season to do a goodbye. Like when Tamara was fired, she said that she was asked and she said no, she didn't want to do that. So I wonder if it was something like that, basically like this is how you were supposed to start, but then we'll go ahead and show the breakup, even though it happened 2 years later.
So
or 2 years ago.
if that's the case, wouldn't they be pissed that Rosie is now saying, well, I don't think Kelsey ever lived there?
Well, maybe Rosie didn't know. Maybe Rosie
Yeah.
didn't know that that was a deal with production or whatever. And because it didn't, and Tamara brought it out. You
Yes.
showed that to me.
Yeah, so then Tamara goes on her social media, and Andy had said, we're taking questions for Rhode Island reunion. If you have any, send them my way. And so Tamara, it's like a real messy video, and she's like, hi, I'm asking for a friend. But has Kelsey been broken up with her boyfriend for 2 years? Like, did she not live there? And she's asking for a friend who has a podcast.
Love that part.
I know.
Well, no, and she said, "Is Kelsey a liar face?"
Oh,
Isn't that what they say on OC? Her Vicky, liar face. You're a liar face.
oh, I don't remember that, but I'm sure.
I love that. So is Tamara Team Rosie?
Well, she's not Team Kelsey.
No. I love them both. Like, what's Rosie got? What are we going to do? Oh, you know what else Kelsey has? Have you seen the video? So she knows she was in a pageant, right? She was in Miss Whatever. So in her speech, she talks about having a brain tumor.
Yeah.
So I watched some little bit interview of it today. She gets in a car accident, and then I guess it must have been an MRI of her brain or a CAT scan, and to see if she's okay after the car accident, and then they find the brain tumor. And that's where I stopped the video. I don't know.
Well, she seems
She had
okay.
surgery. I know. She had surgery. She had it removed. It was, but I don't know anymore. So maybe I need to do some more research.
No, that's okay. I just saw the clip of her walking down like the runway at the pageant, and they announce her, and they're like, Kelsey got in a car accident, and the doctor found out she had a brain tumor. And that's like, what? I know. Why? No. Like, why is that your, like, tagline they're saying about
voice.
you?
Yeah. Well, I just think there's Bravo Breakdowns posted, wait, that famous line or infamous line from the beauty pageant of the brain tumor is actually Kelsey? I had never heard it before.
Me neither.
Apparently it was, like, social media famous.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Well, it's very
Okay, so let me ask you now.
Yeah.
So would you love to go to Newport, Rhode Island and stay in a big castle, and the next morning when you're hungover, do you want to go play on a water slide, an inflatable water slide?
No.
So random.
And drink champagne?
It was a bigger one, but like we rent those for our kids' birthday parties, like in our backyard. We just hook it up to the hose.
I've only seen it for kids' birthday parties.
I mean, it is fun as an adult. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure
I'm gonna
it
do it with
is.
the kids. I'm not. That's why I was such a Liz. Liz is like,
Me
I'm
too.
not going on a slide with the butlers, and she just walks inside.
And
yes,
if
ma'am.
I'm on that show, I'm clocking the girls who were flirting with the butlers. And guess what? I'm going to bring that up later.
Okay, I was gonna say, and who is?
Well, Rosie, Kelsey, not really, but also she's
A little, but
she's
technically.
she's available kind of in her fake storyline, and Ashley a little bit.
But
But she even said that she was like, my husband's hotter or something like that. Rosie didn't say that. Rosie's just, come on, take your shirt
Rosie had been throwing up all night.
Yes.
Rosie woke up very nauseous at the breakfast table. And then Kelsey and her squashed the beef and champagne, water slide, butlers. Oh, what? Like, I've had the stomach bug too many times in my life that I can count. Knock on wood. I do not want to get it today.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it takes me at least 24 to 48 hours just to get the green off my face and get back to normal.
Yes.
There's no way you were vomiting all night and now drinking champagne and going up and down a slide in the heat.
No, and even if, let's say, it wasn't a stomach bug, but I did throw up once or all night, come on, once or twice, I am still feeling like crap the next day.
You have no energy. You're depleted of energy.
Exactly. And champagne is like the worst alcohol you could have.
It is. It is.
When your
Instant
stomach
headache.
is nauseous. Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, she's a liar. She's a liar face. Jinx.
I still like her. Keep her on my TV. I get annoyed when, like, there's an annoying character, there's a villain, and everyone's like, get like Amanda, get her off TV. Like, no, we need villains. Like, I want someone to dislike on there.
Amanda Francis or Amanda Battaglia?
Batuglia.
Batuglia.
Amanda Francis is just insufferable. She's not a fun one
She's
to
a
watch.
villain, though.
She's not friends with anyone is the problem. That's the difference. Like, she's not naturally friends. You just kind of threw someone in there because they're in the same house as Kyle's.
How do we feel, speaking of sickness, how do we feel about Rula missing out, again, a trip, and because she's sick, she seems to have a lot of health issues, but can we remember when Brittany shared this on the after show, and I don't know if a lot of people watched it, I'm talking about Brittany Cartwright, when she was leaving Jax. She shared on the after show, she said to Lala, she said, don't you remember that year where I had this sickness and I had no idea what it was? And
it was years.
Yeah, like it wasn't the ulcer. It was something else. And she said, yeah, it wasn't the ulcer, so it wasn't the like alcohol. She said, don't you remember when I was like going to the hospital like all the time, running all those tests, and
almost
they had no idea what was going on with me? And Lala was like, yeah, I do remember that. And she said, I think it was because of him. Like, it was like a sickness and like stress that caused a reaction in her body. My question is, could that be what's happening to Rula? She has to deal with her husband cheating on her. She didn't want that on TV. Nobody does. Now it's, manifesting in a way on her body.
In Yolanda Foster, we kind of saw Yolanda Hadid. She had Lyme disease, but they couldn't quite pinpoint it. And then she divorces David, and she's back to being on a farm with horses again.
Right, her Lyme disease improved, right? So there's something about a stress of the other person's causing something. I really believe in that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I was like, well, wait, and they said they didn't know what it was. Rula did all those tests.
Yeah, they went to the hospital.
They didn't find anything, but then I guess she's okay now, hopefully. But I'm just wondering, are we going to even see this girl on camera again?
I don't know how she comes back for season 2 because her husband came to watch What Happens Live and sat front row with her. That was odd. And she's watching it play out in real time. And then what was in the video at the end of the episode that they got?
The video is him caressing a blonde lady, like they're hugging.
Oh, the same one that we keep seeing?
Yeah, I think so. He's touching her butt, and it's like a very long goodbye. But it sounded like it's like caressing, like a long hug that, your husband wouldn't be doing that.
No, it's so obvious. And we've just seen little snippets. So, Rula's seen more. And all I can think of is I'm just choosing to look away is how she sees it. We have an understanding.
And somebody said, someone said something and now I can't remember. Someone said that Brian will say he was ending it. He was ending it, so she'll say in that video, so it's okay, right? Like, that was him ending it, and now it's over. But was that him ending it?
He's never going to actually end it. But you know what? If that's her choice, that's what she wants to believe. Okay, we drop it. I don't need it for storyline. All right, we saw it. Clearly, she doesn't want to accept it. She wants to believe what she wants to believe. let's not keep making this a storyline moving forward. I mean, at this point, it's going to be for the season. But how do you think she sticks up for herself in the reunion?
I don't know, because she's really been MIA.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But is it her health, which if it's caused by her husband, or is it she's too embarrassed to be on camera and to have to discuss it?
Yeah, like a combination, maybe, of all of
Like,
that.
does she even go to the reunion?
I know. I mean, at this point, okay, I think we're only a few episodes in.
I think
we're
they're filming soon.
6 or 7 episodes in. So we probably still have...
It's probably 10.
Yeah.
So 4.
I hope
film
she's
soon.
in a lot more.
Because she missed out a lot on this trip.
Or maybe
That's 2
there's
episodes.
a
Are we
couple
still on
more
the trip?
Episodes.
I think Dolores was saying how she's not invited to the reunion.
Yeah.
She seemed like she was a little hurt by that.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the one we both listened to? And then I think she said there were 10 episodes. Am I wrong?
Yeah, she did say there was 10. So
because
a
Ladies
couple
of London
more.
had 10.
Okay, so we're gonna be at the end of the season pretty soon. That means,
Yeah.
So this is the main storyline is Rula and her husband, but I feel like Rula's only been in like 3 episodes.
So maybe this is like a Shannon and David Bador, Kelly, like all the OC ladies. They come in with their spouses and there's issues, and then 3, 4 seasons. It takes a while. Like Shannon Bador, like how many seasons did it take for them to actually get the divorce?
Like
we had to watch them, give each other's eulogies. I don't know the lady's name, but I can still see her in my mind. That couple's Here Lies Shannon Bador. Like I've had that season running.
Shannon Bador. Also, R.I.P. to Archie.
Archie. Didn't he have brain cancer?
I don't know.
I think I heard that like a week or so ago, and I remember thinking, oh, it's not good.
Aw, I'm glad
Poor
that
Shannon.
that she has another dog at least to
she did.
hold Troy. But Archie, he was like the best dog ever.
I know. We all knew
Sorry,
Archie.
I didn't mean to bring it down. Let's move on to what we can't stop thinking about this week, our favorite thing. But we do have to talk about Alicia really quickly because you sent me a thing that Alicia had put something on social media and then taken it down. And it was alluding to her husband.
I'll read it.
Spending her money.
Okay, let me find it.
Okay.
It said, so this was on our Instagram stories, a black screen, white text, asking for a friend. Do you think if it's okay? Hold on. Do you think if it's okay if your spouse takes your money and pays bills without asking and you never see your money or your check? So is it okay if your spouse takes your money and pays bills without asking and you never see that money?
No.
So it's like if my husband took all my paycheck, paid all bills with it, and I don't know where it went to and what's left over. But then she took it down.
Yeah, right. So she posted it and then she took it down. Is she saying like her money, or is this?
I know.
His?
Is she really asking for a friend? I see it as, it seems like her housewife money, her fiance is getting, and he's just saying, oh, I'm paying the bills with it, but she doesn't see any of it. So you wonder, does she even have a bank account in her name?
I know, it's a kind of another one of those Dorit kind of money stories.
Okay, but Dorit, did you see the bank accounts for Dorit and PK?
I couldn't read that stuff. It's too much for me.
She pulled in 2 years. She brought in like 3.5 million over the span of 2 years. Everyone's wondering, that's not just housewife money. Anyways, it's about the same as what PK brings in. So, but she sees her money. With Alicia, if this is her, it sounds like she doesn't see her money at all.
So it's like Erica Jane.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
I outsourced my financial freedom to a man, and it didn't work out for me.
Someone posted on Threads that line and said, well, looks like she was right. And then Amanda Francis commented with an emoji or something.
Oh my gosh, Amanda.
Of course.
She's like, yay.
But I don't know if this is... it's also a generation. I think she's my age, and it's probably what she saw. I don't think this is an intentional. I think this is just what has kind of done with the man she's with. I don't think she sees it as, I don't know how to do this. Here, you take it. I think she's in a relationship with a man that's very old school and said, you just take care of the house, the kid. I'm going to take care of the finances over here.
Yeah.
Because she's not legally married and her name's not on anything. I think it's an ignorance. And
Yeah.
which is not right. Like, you do need to step up to the plate and learn these things, but I don't think she's ever been aware that she needs to.
Right. And she does say on the show that it is hard for her to not have her own money and always have to ask him.
Yeah.
Oof.
She probably feels losing that relationship if she gets financially independent. Like, he won't want to be with her because he likes to have a woman relying on him.
Oh, right.
Very old school.
Very old school.
Like Teresa and Joe.
Juicy Joe.
Juicy Joe.
Sorry. I don't know why I wanted to do that in that accent.
And they started filming this week.
Yes, they did.
They did Tuesday. The Teresa, Melissa, Dolores, and then 6 newbies.
Oh my gosh, 6 newbies. I'm just so happy that thirsty Jen Fessler isn't on there.
None of them needed to be, honestly. I think this is the perfect way to go. None of them.
Agree.
I didn't need to see any of them.
Agreed. What was your favorite thing you can't stop thinking about, favorite moment of the week from the shows?
Okay. So, and I want to, because I know you're not watching The Valley, so I want you from an outsider perspective to answer this. So Nia and Danny are having, like, they have a newborn. Danny's been drinking. He's talking rudely to Nia. Lala's like on the peripheral, listening. She steps in and says, "You can't be talking to your wife that way. That's not okay." Afterwards, Nia's reflecting in the confessional. On one hand, what are you doing getting involved in the middle of my marriage? On the other hand, he's talking to me horribly, and he's not listening to me when I'm telling him. Maybe her stepping in and saying this as another person is going to help him realize that. So I honestly don't know what was the right way. Like, Danny was mad, like, "Don't get in my marriage." And Lala's like, "Well, don't be out in a public space yelling at your wife, so I have to get involved in your marriage."
Normally, I'm always on the opposite side of what Lala is on because I cannot forgive. But I can see both sides, and I can see if he's being loud enough for everyone to hear, then yeah, we're going to say something. But then also she went on Watch What Happens Live, and she said, "I think that Nia should leave him, that she's, a wonderful person, blah, blah, blah. She should leave him." I just don't think you should say that to somebody who has 4 small children.
Yes.
That
even Andy was, his facial, it was like, oh.
Because it's almost like you're putting that out there, like, well, that should happen. And I just feel like they have 4 small children. They actually work on their marriage. They seem very vocal about working through things and working on the marriage. I think, no, he shouldn't yell at her. And I know that he's kind of showing more of his true colors maybe this season, I've heard. But yeah, hopefully they can work it out. I just feel bad because they have 4 small children. I love Nia. I think she can do anything, but I know that they're very, like, they really work on their marriage. They, God is very important to them, so it's all like very close knit family, and I just, hopefully they can just work through it.
I know, to say at this point they're in one of those places with 4 small children.
Yeah.
Together it's hard. Divorce, it's going to be hard.
Exactly.
So you want to try everything you can first. And if it gets to that point, so to carelessly say that on TV was, I didn't like that.
I'm just like, that's not a real friend,
No.
Bring back Sheena. Get rid of Warren from Utah.
I know. I do think that Sheena would have done a better job. The Valley crew just doesn't feel, and I keep saying this, they just don't feel glued together. I'm watching it, and I've heard people say, it's so dark. I'm like, Jax is gone. It's not dark. And as I'm watching this episode this week, I'm like, it's dark because it's what life really is. It's the reality of life.
They need a Sheena who can make you think that anything is possible still, right? She's like, so delusional.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like, gosh, parenting, newborns, divorce, mortgages that you can't pay. Like, life is dark, and you're basically just watching your dark life in front of you.
And we like an escape, and that's why we like Housewives.
Yes. That's and what are they doing on their trip? They're going to like a San Diego version of Dave and Buster's and eating in the adjacent Dave and Buster's restaurant.
We could literally do that tomorrow.
Yes.
If we wanted to. We're like, where's the opulence valley?
Yes.
Where is it?
Yes.
I want to end with our rapid fire like we always do.
Oh, do you want to squeeze yours in? Your favorite of the week?
Oh, yeah. My favorite was that the Atlanta ladies eating in that, like, horse stable. because it was just so funny.
It was good. The wine. Oh, it
Yes,
smells.
we're like,
What does it smell of? That was my favorite part.
Manure, sir. So yeah, just that. I know we talked about it already.
That was good.
This is going to be a ranking. They're there for you to read so you don't forget. But you're going to rank these summer house duos best to worst. We have Paige and Hannah. We have West and Jesse, Sierra and Mia, Lindsay and Danielle, and Carl and Kyle.
Okay, best to worst?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we got to go Paige and Hannah because they have number one, because they are still successful together. Okay, second, I'm going to go Carl and Kyle. Then Sierra and Mia, only because I don't know their friendship. I think it's pretty deep, but I don't know it. And then Lindsay and Danielle, because they're going to work on theirs and In the City, and I know they'll be besties at the end of the season. And then West and Jesse's is non-existent.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I was going to say that summer house, I love your rankings. Paige and Hannah are best friends. I think they are like probably the best friends of all of those people. But because this is summer house, I would put Kyle and Carl as number one because they're like the whole show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But I like your rankings too.
True.
So that
but would
too.
Paige and Hannah be good friends if they didn't have Giggly Squad today?
Oh, good question.
But then would Carl and Kyle be friends if Summer House is gone? So I can't say that hypothetical.
I think they would be. That was just something that kind of came out of their friendship. Like they grew that because I think, they were talking anyway. So like, why don't we just talk on whatever during COVID? And that's how Giggly Squad was born. And thank you, Kyle, for saying Giggly Squad. Thank you for being here with us. We are done for the week. A lot of stuff happening. We will be back with all of the best Bravo tea next week. So follow us on the Bravo Rundown and see you later.